Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome. Hey, super excited that you're here to join us for this session on the transition from RPA to APA and how you can put AI to work in your business critical operations. My name is Micah Smith and I lead the community and learning team here at Automation Anywhere, and we could not be more excited to bring you this Pathfinder Summit event. I'm also excited to introduce our next speaker, Adi Kuruganti, who is the Chief Product Officer here at Automation Anywhere. Now, before we dive into Adi's session, I need to mention that his presentation may include some forward-looking statements about products and Automation Anywhere's vision. And while we're incredibly excited about these possibilities, I do want to remind everyone that the actual development and release timelines of some of these capabilities, of course, remain at the discretion of Automation Anywhere. Think of this as our glimpse into our thinking and where we see agentic process automation headed. Now, on to the good stuff. Adi is going to be presenting on his perspectives of the future of automation and how agentic process automation can transform even the most complex business processes. I for sure walk away from every session that I go to of Adi's with lots of notes and lots of considerations for the future of agentic automation. So get your notepad ready and please join me in welcoming Adi Kuruganti.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. My name is Adi Kuruganti. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Automation Anywhere. Really excited to be here and really excited to see all the content that many of you have put together as part of this Pathfinder Summit. It's our first Pathfinder Summit, and we hope to do many more in the following quarters and years to come. But in this session, I really want to walk through our product strategy, where we see the market going, what we're hearing from our customers, and really help you put AI to work for your most mission-critical, business-critical operations. So we're in a major shift in the market. We've been hearing a lot about AI agents, AI, Gen AI, and within our customer base, we're seeing a big shift to what we're calling Agentic Process Automation. Many of you know us as a leader in robotic process automation. Over 5,000 customers. Been doing this for over 20 years. And the last two and a half years, we've really been focusing on this really big expansion to agentic process automation, which will enable our customers to automate a lot more of their most mission-critical business processes. So what does this mean? So this transformation has been in place or in the works for the last couple of years, and we just at the start, believe it or not. So we think about traditional automation, it's really about deterministic workflows powered by, UI agents, UI bots, as well as APIs. And a lot of you have deployed thousands and thousands of these task bots for, updating documents or extracting invoices. And it's been great to automate some of those repetitive tasks, really automating 20-30% of those tasks and driving higher levels of productivity for your employees. Well, with agentic process automation, we're really expanding that to a whole new level. And the big difference is agentic process automation is a combination of deterministic workflows with probabilistic or cognitive tasks, which are really AI agents. And this really allows you to do a lot more, change and adapt based on your enterprise data, changes, for example, to your knowledge bases or changes in your product catalog. And there are lots more of these more complex, long-running, mission-critical processes that we can now automate. And that's what our customers are doing. And we expect 10x higher business impact, as well as at least 40 to 80% of your processes can now be automated. Now, if you look at it even deeper, there's some major differences between traditional automation and agentic process automation. We truly believe the future of enterprise automation is going to be agentic. As I said, we're in the start of this journey, but looking back a year from now, all of us will have many and many of these agentic processes in production, just like many of our customers already have many of these processes in production. So some of the key differences are, like I mentioned earlier, traditional automation, 20-30% efficiency gains. we're obviously going to up that efficiency gains to 40 to 80% with agentic process automation. But in addition to that, we can drive improved customer experience, higher margins, new revenue streams with AI-driven innovation, as well as really better employee experience by ensuring your top talent is attracted to stay with your company. We go from what is really more task-based automations to really these more long-running, multi-application, multi-vendor processes. Typically, with traditional automation, it's highly deterministic. You kind of need to know what that process is and write those rules. So when the process changes, you need to go, change, update those rules. Well, now you can combine the best of deterministic and dynamic. So you can use, you can build these more highly adaptive business workflows, long-running workflows, which is a critical difference because really, again, it allows you to open the aperture of what you can automate. Another big difference is the fact that traditional automation, you're really dealing with structured data sets. Your CRM data, your ERP data. But now you can combine the best of structured and unstructured data sets to really, again, drive these dynamic workflows. The key point for a lot of customers is most of the enterprise data is actually unstructured data. Think about your knowledge catalogs, your product catalogs, your documents like a contract and logistics and other documents. All that is unstructured data. So now you can use that in your core workflow. Human in the loop, human decisioning is always going to be important, but now we go from human in the loop to human decisioning. So really giving all the great tools of using agent process automation, you provide all that information at the right time to your employees so they can make decisions and spend less time trying to actually find that information. And as goes with all things AI and automation, we know you're using a platform to run, touch your most mission critical systems, financial systems. So it goes without saying that enterprise-grade security, governance is critical. We take it to a whole new level with now responsible use of AI, making sure you have real-time view of and auditability, things like data masking of PII data when you're using that in LLM prompts. A lot of new features that go into AI-led governance. So a lot of, while there's subtle changes, and some are subtle, some are kind of completely big changes, ultimately, the goal is how do we enable our customers to really automate those most mission-critical processes and do that responsibly. And this is exactly what customers of ours are doing. We have hundreds of customers with live deployments in production. This is an example of a customer who's used APA platform to accelerate prior authorization. So if many of us either have been patients or have loved ones who've been patients, so we all know how complex this process can be. You can see lots of different systems that you're typically interacting, a lot of different stakeholders. The patient is typically, there is patient, the responsible party, the hospital administrator, your doctor, the insurance company, which is a key aspect of this workflow. So a lot of different systems, a lot of different personas, and typically what this customer had going for it was about 10 days. It took about 10 days to get through prior authorization, which, as you can imagine, is not a great experience not a great patient experience. So what they were able to do is use the power of our agent process automation platform and create these AI agents to do things like form completion with 100% accuracy, no errors, because that's actually one of the big areas where information goes back and forth and a lot of manual steps have to happen. When we are communicating between the administrator, the hospital administrator, and the insurance company, again, that back and forth, and really using AI agents to get all that information up front so that the insurance company has all the information so they can make that approval much faster than they could do in the past. And then when you need validation from the physician on the right type of care, that again, there's another agent for that. So different types of agents to really help speed up this process and reduce the number of manual steps. So what this customer found was 80% faster turnaround, 90% reduction in errors. That's a huge change for this customer. And very importantly, a 30% improvement in patient satisfaction, right? And because they were reducing these errors upfront, a 50% reduction in write-offs, which is really improving operational efficiency of this process. So really hitting multiple grounds, not only about operational efficiency, it's about improved CX in this case for the patient, as well as, ultimately a much better end-to-end experience for all stakeholders who are part of this core process. So you can see how with Agentic Process Automation, you can automate these long-running, multi-stakeholder, mission-critical processes, and you can really do that. In this case, you're going from 10 days to under 2 hours. And this is exactly what a lot of our customers are doing across multiple industries, and they're really driving competitive advantage with Agentic Process Automation, whether it's Petrobras, 120 million in savings in their tax operations, really reducing both underpayments of tax as well as overpayments, AML within Key Bank, and lots of other business workflows, business processes in lots of different industries. So this is not limited to any one industry. We're seeing tremendous adoption in financial services, in manufacturing, healthcare, and across different lines of departments, whether it's finance, customer service is a big one, supply chain is another one. So a lot of different use cases across lots of different customers. And that's the big difference from last year, where last year there was a lot of POCs, and now we're seeing a lot of production grade deployments because the platform and kind of the technology overall has matured. And we expect to see more of this in the coming months and coming weeks, coming months, and coming years. So the key question, though, is there are a lot of customers, a lot of companies have been talking about AI agents, and what's Automation Anywhere's focus? Or how is our focus as far as AI agents are concerned? So not all AI agents are the same, and so where we categorize is you have personal AI agents. Think about personal productivity, summarizing an email, just summarizing a report, asking a question or a document. These are basic personal productivity tasks. You have different types of co-pilots in the industry for that, great use cases. You have application-specific AI agents. Imagine you're in Salesforce and you want to create an event or a task or schedule an appointment, perfectly sound use case. But our focus, again, is on AI agents and these that are process-centric, that really cover multiple applications, multiple systems, whether it be cloud-based systems or on-prem legacy systems, and really have a process mindset. So you can see some of the examples, whether it's order management, AML, anti-money laundering. We talked about prior authorization before, KYC, client onboarding. These are long-running, multi-application, multi-persona use cases. And while we can definitely, a lot of customers are deploying AI agents at the application level or even personal productivity level, we see a vast majority of our customers are deploying AI agents on our platform for these more long-running, mission-critical processes. So let's take an example to make this real. And the example we're going to take is that around a product inquiry process. For those who've, all of us have done a product inquiry process as consumers, but if you're in CPG or manufacturing, this should be a very relatable and familiar use case. So typically imagine a scenario where, so in this process, you can see multiple different systems that this support agent has to kind of interact with. And the use case is, imagine a customer calls into the support agent or support rep and is interested in a product that's no longer being sold. And so typically the support rep has to do all that heavy lifting to figure out the right product for that customer profile and make sure there's enough inventory in stock. So you can imagine there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of systems to look at, product catalogs to look at. So this can lead to huge delays in resolution. So what we'll show you how AI agents with their very cognitive abilities can access all that enterprise data that you have and help that service agent provide a 50% faster time in supporting their customers. And so let's see how that works. As a first step, we're going to create a product specialist agent. And this is the core agent that's going to help us find a similar product as well as make sure there's enough inventory in stock. So it's going to be the full it's going to do the big job for us here. Now, the key ingredients to product specialized product to an AI agent. The first step really is to create an AI skill. Let's call it a suggest similar product skill. And now there are three key ingredients to a skill. First, you can connect the skill to any large language model provider. We support all the major foundational model providers. In fact, we even allow you to bring in your own custom models. Many of your AI teams are creating custom models, especially in healthcare and financial services, based on your data. You can even bring those in. Model choice is really important because different models will work for different use cases. As the next step, to improve the output of these models and to mitigate hallucinations, you're going to ground these models in your enterprise data, like your knowledge articles or your product catalog in this case. We use RAG or retrieval augmented generation to ground and enrich this context. We have our own RAG service, or you can also use services from our hyperscaler partners like AWS, Azure, as well as GCP. And finally, you test and tune the output of the skill using real automation data, because again, this is part of the full automation workflow, with something that many of you are familiar with, which is prompts. And so now, just like you use it in ChatGPT, you could use prompts to test the skill out, to make sure it's ready for prime time. So you've created the skill. So now let's add it to our AI agent. So now we found a product match for the product that's no longer being sold. Great, but we still don't know if we have enough inventory in stock. And to do that, this is where the power and automation platform comes to bear. We're now using our core APA platform. We can create an action. We can help the customer do an inventory check in their core ERP system. In this case, maybe SAP. And so we're going to create that action, connect it to our skill, and add it to our AI agent. So now our AI agent is built out. In fact, AI agents can have multiple skills and multiple actions. This is what we call tooling within our AI agent, and it's ready to be consumed within your core workflow. Now, before we kind of add it to our workflow, I know there probably have many questions. I talked about this earlier around the responsible use of AI, because it's data flowing, business data flowing to these AI agents. And so what we've done is create an additional layer of governance around these AI agents. Things like real-time monitoring, auditability and traceability of what are the different calls between these AI agents and your large language models, or even your RAG systems. And we're just in preview now. We also have the ability to mask PI data before it gets called into an LLM. So there are a lot of additional, governance that we put in. So something that your CIOs and your CISOs will be very grateful for. So now let's add our product specialist agent to our product inquiry process, giving it, context for action. And our AI agent is ready to get to work for our service agent, who can interact with our AI agent through Automation Copilot that's embedded directly in their customer service application. Now, the product inquiry process is just a small part of a much broader order management process. So if we kind of zoom out and we take a look at the order management process, we have multiple AI agents hard at work across departments and applications. We call this multi-agent collaboration. You have a rebate agent, a special pricing agent, and many more, all working together to maximize ROI. And this is exactly what a customer of ours, a global food distribution company, was able to do. They were able to streamline over 100,000 monthly vendor transactions, saving tens of millions of dollars in just under 8 months. That's incredible ROI for this customer. And you can obviously also establish this ROI within your specific use cases. And this is exactly what we believe, that customers will deploy AI agents across every department, every functional area, and we have a whole slew of use cases available to you. And what we've seen in the market, something to help you deploy the first set of AI agents, or even just expand the usage of AI agents within different use cases and different departments. Now, all this AI agent goodness is powered by our Agentic Process Automation system. This is our platform. At the core layer, as all of you know, we are a flexible, cloud-native, microservices-based platform. So we support public cloud, private cloud, on-prem deployments. So flexibility is key to us. Obviously, trust goes without saying. At a core layer, we have the automation system. This is our bread and butter. This is enables our customers to securely automate all the mission critical processes with a combination of RPA bots, APIs, as well as over 1,000 integrations with all the major systems out there. Our agent orchestration layer is what helps you orchestrate across multiple apps, multiple users, and this is kind of the hub or the engine that allows you to kind of automate those core processes. Our agentic system is something that we've been heavily investing over the last 2 years. This is what enables our customers to make dynamic decisions based on their business data. We launched a slew of new products around AI Agent Studio, around building securely, responsibly building AI agents with both the builder environment, but also the governance environment. Automated AI using Gen AI to build end-to-end workflows, as well as drive much higher resiliency with our generative recorder product. Document automation, now you can process not only unstructured, simple documents and structured documents, but also unstructured documents, things like contracts and logistics and pay slips, or even kind of handwritten documents. We just launched document automation, introduced the ability to use Gen AI with vision models. So that really expands the scope of what you can process through document automation. And a lot of other features, including our core generative AI process models that we've built using our rich metadata. And at the very top are our AI solutions. This is really what our customers care about the most. We have created over 10 solutions this past year, with many more to come in the following quarters. Many of these solutions, by the way, are not only built by us, but also built by our partners like Accenture and PwC. And you also find some of these solutions on our bot store. So this is our Agentic Process Automation system built to help you deliver these incredible cognitive and highly adaptive workflows so that you can automate your most mission critical processes. So what's core to our APA system? I'm kind of going a little bit deeper into how we think about our product strategy and roadmap. A key element is we want to first of all make sure that we can fit into your existing IT landscape to help you connect the dots between your different systems of interaction and different systems of record. Because again, we have a process mindset. We are helping you automate your processes that span across multiple users, multiple systems, as well as multiple providers. So that's the first key thing. The second is, as part of that, we've kind of built a slew of obviously an open ecosystem, open platform. We realize, again, from a process mindset, you have different systems of record, different systems of engagement. And that's why we work hard to partner with some of the major technology vendors in the industry. And we especially have very strong partnerships and relationships with our hyperscaler partners. And together, we've built lots of joint solutions. And as you can see, we're both with Google, with AWS, with Microsoft. We've built a slew of integrations to help our customers, deliver value fast at lightning speed, so to speak. Something new we launched earlier last year, actually, is we're already in 2025, is Connector Builder. So now you can build connections to any application with the REST API. No coding skills needed. So you don't need to be a developer, you don't need to be a coder. And this really opens up the platform where you don't need to wait for us. And while we continue to build integrations, you don't need to wait for us. You can build integrations. And this is not only available for our public cloud customers, but now with the 8.3 final release, it's also available for our on-prem customers, or customers who deploy it on private cloud. So it's really expanded the scope of what you can do and what integrations you can build. The second big kind of focus for us from product strategy is our generative AI model. So we build these generative AI models leveraging our rich metadata. We have over 300 million automations that run on our cloud native platform, and more. It's growing close to 45% year over year. So a lot of rich metadata that we get to see. And these are the models that we are using as part of our unique compound AI system to power all our products, all our AI products, whether it's document processing, and that's what's driving a high accuracy and low hallucinations. Processing documents, you can see the benchmarks. You use underlying LLM models as a standalone, it's about 40%. When you use our models and our kind of compound AI system, it can be up as high as 90%. To resiliency, and we're seeing over 50% higher resiliency for production deployed bots with our generative recorder product. Again, because we build these products using compound AI system and leveraging our Gen AI process models that we built using this rich metadata. An example of that, as I mentioned earlier, is document automation. So in late 2023, we expanded document automation with generative AI. So before that, we could really process invoices, purchase orders, and structured, semi-structured documents. And that in late 2023 really allowed us to expand to unstructured documents. And as I mentioned, just this release, we expanded the ability to use vision models. So now, for example, with complex tables, you can process complex tables with a much higher accuracy than you could do before with the new release. So a lot of enhancements that are coming in. But I want to kind of spend a second on the compound AI system. So there's a lot of pre-processing, a lot of that we do. You can see the underlying LLM, and we reserve the right to choose any LLM based on accuracy of the use case or the use case in question. So we, as I mentioned, we use OpenAI 4.0, we use Anthropic Cloud 3, and many others, and we kind of use different models for different use cases. But there's an entire system around it where we're pre-processing, kind of using vector databases to chunk up the documents. That's how you can we support 1,000 or even 10,000 page documents. Versus if you were to use LLM as a standalone, that'd be cost prohibitive if you were to use that as just as a pass through. We have our own underlying RAG service that we use to kind of mitigate hallucinations. So there's a lot of pre-processing that we do before we put that prompt in with that data and pass it to the LLM. And then once the response comes in, we do a lot of validation and tuning as well. And this entire system provides a much higher level of accuracy, but also governance, because everything that happens in the system, you get real-time view from monitoring and analytics perspective. And as I mentioned, from a benchmark perspective, we've seen with OpenAI, for contract processing, we see between 55 and 60% accuracy. With our compound AI system or document automation product, we're seeing upwards of 85 to 90% accuracy, which is a huge difference for our customers. And the third big area that we continue to focus on is around enabling you to build AI agents for enterprise processes. And as I mentioned earlier, AI agents are a perfect combination of skills, of cognitive ability of looking at your enterprise data set with action. And then we have the security and governance layer around it, again, as I mentioned before. And you can use these AI agents as part of a core process orchestration. So you can now orchestrate not only APIs and RPA bots and documents, but also AI agents. So that's a big part of allowing you to kind of automate those mission critical, long running processes. A lot of these products are already available to you. And I've kind of put this out there where whether you're on our public cloud, where we are managing infrastructure, or you are deploying automation anywhere in your private cloud environment, pretty much most of these products are available to you. And we continue to update every release. We have 4 releases a year. And the 8.35 release is just rolling out in January. The next one comes out in April. So every release will keep updating. Our goal is we want to provide these features as fast as possible to our customers. Typically, they will be available to our customers on our public cloud sooner than others. But very soon after, it will be available to our customers who deploy on private cloud and on-prem environments. And finally, I kind of just want to quick look at our 2025 roadmap themes. There's a lot happening here. As I mentioned, we are early days as far as the evolution of APA. So our focus is really to mature our feature set. There's a lot of good feedback we get from our customers who deploy in production. And there's a lot of new areas that we are focused on. So on the AI-powered solution side, we are closely partnering with Amazon Q to build a new system of engagement for AI agents, which it'll be a conversational experience but it'll not only be about asking questions of a document, but based on the based on the prompt, or even based on voice, eventually, it'll help you help your business users automate core processes. So they won't need to know the details of the process. This conversational assistant will help them through the process. So, for example, if you're doing a loan application process in Salesforce that needs to go across different systems, you could use this conversational automation product embedded directly in Salesforce. Document processing, a lot of new, interesting enhancements coming, including more extraction capabilities, advanced extraction capabilities, ability to test your documents with something what we call document workspace, where you can test and benchmark your different document workflows. That's coming actually very soon in the next release, and then more work around performance scale. One thing, today we handle anyway upwards of 10 million documents. We want customers, we have customers who want to automate 40, 50, or 100 million documents, which is fine, and that's essentially a big focus for us. A big focus is solution accelerators as well, which is how do we kind of package up a lot of these different products into end-to-end workflows, so that, for example, with customer service or finance operations or supply chain warehousing, we build these processes based on what we see with our customers. We're doing this, and as I mentioned earlier, we also have our GSI partners who are doing this, and this will be available both on the bot store, and some of these will also be available directly in the product. On our agentic system, a lot of depth around building AI agents. I mentioned earlier where we could add more capabilities around tooling, around benchmarking between different AI agents. Just coming right now with the 3.5, the January release is out-of-the-box skills. So we have over 20 or 30 out-of-the-box skills that you can use to get started. Again, our focus to help you get started. You don't need to do the heavy lifting of figuring different things out. If you've seen it, we want to make that available to you. So at least that's a starting point for you to get going. A lot around governance and data privacy. We're going to roll out data masking in Q1 this year. And obviously with our automated AI enabling you to build end-to-end automations, as well as with autopilot, the ability to translate BPMN into end-to-end automations. We already have these capabilities available to our customers, and we want to kind of continue to enhance them based on customer feedback. And finally, the automation system. The biggest focus, and there's a lot out here, is on agentic orchestration. There's a lot of work going in around kind of making the entire process building experience seamless, but more importantly, adding more advanced capabilities like fork and join, event-based triggers, and others, just so that you can build these more highly adaptive end-to-end processes that can help you automate, again, multi-application, multi-persona use cases. And added to that, we also are delving deep into observability. And observability becomes really important because not only do you want to observe what's happening in the process, but you also want to observe within the process what's happening within those AI agents. How is it using your PII data? What's the response? A lot of this we already have around auditability of your AI agents, but we are continue to expand the capabilities here based on customer feedback. And for our core developer audience, I'm sure we'll be excited that very soon we'll also be supporting macOS. So this is something that has been long coming. I know many of you have been using Windows clients to run automation anywhere, but very soon you'll also be able to run on macOS, which is going to be obviously open up a whole slew of use cases and customers for all of you. So with that, this is all I had. But if you want to learn more, you can see more about our Agentic Process Automation announcement that we have made last Imagine, as well as explore some of the solutions that we've rolled out using these QR codes, and a lot more obviously coming over the next few releases. And remember, we have Imagine coming up in May in Orlando. So we'll be making some very interesting announcements at Imagine in May. So with that, thank you. Please do attend all the various sessions. We have over 70 sessions as part of this Pathfinder Summit. Many of these sessions you are driving, so you're going to be learning from your peers. It's not only about us, presenting and doing deep dives in products, which you will also do. And we would love your feedback. It goes both ways, and we'd love to learn from you, learn about your use cases, learn how we could further improve the product. So hopefully the next couple of days will be very interesting and a great learning environment. Thank you, and have a great rest of Pathfinder Summit.